Hello everyone, myself GV Arunaravindan and I am pursuing my first MSc Microbiology at PHG College of Arts and Science, Coimbatore. I am here to explain you about a brief and a really smart intro about cereals and cereal products under the food and dairy microbiology. Cereals, what they are actually? Yeah, it is the most important nutrient and energy sources of humans as we all know, which includes rice, wheat, rye, etc. grains in our diets. Cereal is any grass cultivated for its edible grain, which is composed of an endosperm, a germ, and a bran. We know that cereal grains are mostly the important energy sources for humans, which includes rice, wheat, rye, corn, oat, etc. in our diets. In India, especially we Indians, most commonly consumed food for us, and it plays a major role in our diet. In worldwide, when we take in case of worldwide, about approximately 60% of total cultivated land consists only of these cereals. And though Indians consider it as a balanced diet in their diet. Yeah, absolutely. We can easily say that the Indian mindset that I explained in the slide, that last line, is nothing but no rice, no food, no peace. This is known as the Indian mindset. I have given some examples regarding the cereal and cereal products, and I listed these in my PPT. You can all see that. Yeah. Before moving on to the cereal products, I need to explain you about the nutrient content that the cereals have. We actually know that they have totally of 70 to 75 percentage of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are the major source of energy in our human diet, which makes the form of energy in the form of glucose and ATP that they find easily to store in our muscles and to work any other work we are undergoing, etc. works. And in case of protein contents, we can easily say that the cereals consist of 8 to 15% respectively, and also some other vitamins, fibers, minerals, etc. Yeah. Then cereal products. We all know that not only Indians but also in some other foreign country peoples also are also exposed to the cereal products, such as they are eating their cookies, biscuits, then some other cornflakes, chocos. Uh, my all-time favorite biscuits like hide and seek, Oreo, Britannia, and some other milk cookies, etc. They also use it to produce dough, batter, pasta, noodles, cakes, etc. Bread is usually made from flours from wheat and rye by yeast fermentation, respectively. In order to move on to the content, cereal products, I need to give you a very short and smart information regarding the water activity and the activity of microbes in the food and how they are affected and how they are expressed. Now we see the water activity plays a major role in the microbial growth, especially in the cereal products. Okay, if we consider a food that is especially a cereal product which consists of low water activity, that prevents the microbial growth, which means that low water activity, no microbial growth, or less microbial growth, we can easily explain. The water activity formula, we all know that vapor pressure in food divided by the vapor pressure in pure water. Yeah, it is a, it is expressed as a measure of how easily water evaporates from a food product compared to the pure water. Yeah, for example, if you take some values, right, if the water activity of specific food items lies in the range of 0.85 or lower than that, they won't require refrigerations, because the lower water activity, the lower as much as 0.85 water activity won't affect the food by the microbes. The food remains safe and they are easy to consume. But again, consider the time concern and the expiry date that they are mentioned in their product. Then sources of contamination. Now we saw a small and smart intro about the cereal products as well as the cereals. What are the cereal products? Okay. Now we move on to the sources of contamination and how they are contaminated, what are the diseases they get, and what are the organisms involved, for example, bacteria, yeast, fungi, what are they involved in, what are the toxins produced by them, and what they cause defects in the human beings. Okay, what are the sources of contamination? As I mentioned in the slide, we see the air and dust. The cereals and cereals, especially the plants, can get microbial contamination by the air and dust, and the soil, they get contaminated by the organisms through the soil, especially the water contamination. Insects act as a vector in case of the contamination, and also they even to affect the growth of the plants. Then birds and animals, even humans, even our activities, we are throwing plastic into the plants, we are throwing waste items into the plants, and we are even cutting off deforestation, etc., may play a major role in this kind of activities. Then environmental conditions like temperature, rainfall, sunlight, etc., may also result in the disease of the plants, and also they affects the growth of these plants, and their nutrient content is also spoiled. Then very much important factor here I listed is the storage conditions. Yes, during the cultivation and after the harvesting, and during the product formation and after the storage of these products, it requires some criteria and some standard operating procedures to be followed in order to storage these products. And storage temperature plays an important role to keep these products in a good condition and consumed in a safer way. Then we see about the organisms involved. First of all, we see the molds that are involved in the affecting the food product, especially the cereal products like breads. Okay, mold. The mold especially release the mycotoxins. These mycotoxins are classified based on the organisms, and the variants and the virulence also varied according to them. First of all, we see the Aspergillus parasiticus. Aspergillus, we all know, is a kind of mold which releases aflatoxins such as B1, B2, G1, and G2. Aspergillus flavus, which releases the aflatoxins B1 and B2. Then Penicillium islandicum, which is similar to that of the name. The toxin is islandic toxin, luteoscyrin. Then Fusarium sporotrichoides, which releases trichothisins, which is a T2 toxin, respectively. Then the organisms and defect involved. Before moving that the organism and defect involved, I need to speak about the yeast, which are responsible for affecting the cereal and cereal products, especially. The yeast are not discussed here as a major affector or effector which causing the damages into cereal and cereal products. But we need to speak that yeast also causes some yeast infections in cereal products. We can say that yeast such as Candida, Cryptococcus, Pichia, then Trichosporon, etc., are responsible for making some very minor infections and affection to that of the plants as well as the products. Okay, we move on to the organisms and defects as mentioned in the slide. First, we can see about the Aspergillus candidus, which causes powdery white patches. Then Aspergillus flavus, which causes greenish discoloration. Fusarium, which causes red streaking, particularly on maize. Penicillium, blue coloration. Alternaria species causes darkening of foods. We can see that the food get darkened. For example, when we are not consuming the food for a long time, kept closed in our room temperature, as we all know that fungi and mold are very good growers in case of the room temperature, that is especially the 20 to 30 degrees Celsius. Okay, then Claviceps purpura, eat ear rot, ergotism in grain and corn. Okay, then Alternaria, Fusarium, Dressera, Cladosporium, and botrytis. They causes blights and blemishes. Blights. In case of the rice varieties, we can easily see the blight diseases in rice and some blemishes. Okay. Then Fusarium or Alternaria, pink or black tips in wheats. Yeah, in some cases we can see that the wheat grains may contain some black or pink color tips in them, which is mainly affected due to the presence of this organism called Fusarium species, or maybe it also caused by the Alternaria species. Then Aspergillus fumigatus, discolored gems. Thank you. Then we need to move into the spoilage of cereals. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, Cereal usually contains 70 to 75% of carbohydrates, 8 to 15% of proteins, fats, fibers, vitamins, and minerals with near neutral pH. Note this, which is an important point, that near neutral pH. Okay. pH also equal to that of the water activity, plays a major role in the storage and what can I say, viability, something or else blah blah blah, those things in our food items. Then prevented by lowering the water activity. Yeah, this is an important point. Again and again, the bread, which is consumed as a common food worldwide, toasted or taken with that of the jams, or roasted in with that of the ghee in India, butter consumed with that of the butter, etc., etc. things. We are also consuming it as a breakfast in our meals, etc. Then we are also using it as a side way in biryani and some other food items in India. Not only Indians, but are also other abroad country peoples are also following some protocols regarding they're using bread in their daily diets. Okay, yeah. Speaking, the pH of the bread usually lies between 5.4 and 7.5. Yes, and the water activity is 0.75 to 0.98 for a healthy bread. For example, when this pH lies in 5.4 to 7.5, it may easily lead to the bacterial infections, bacterial spoiling conditions, which is known as ROPE, ROPE, mainly caused by the Bacillus species. In case of speaking in bacteria, okay, first I want to say you about the hierarchy of organisms that are responsible for causing diseases. In bacteria, the species such as the organisms involving in the bacteria family such as Bacilliaceae, Micrococcaceae, Lactobacilliaceae and Pseudomonaceae, etc. are responsible for causing spoilage in that of the cereals. Mold is one of the prime organisms that is considered to cause the spoilage in cereals. Then, a high incidence of mycotoxin infections are found in cereals worldwide. Yeah, mycotoxins. As we all know, the prime organism is mold. Mold. The primary cause of mold is to release the mycotoxins. Mycotoxins by several other organisms like aflatoxins, B1, etc., etc. We can say the moisture content in flour is less than 13%. Yeah, flour is a cereal product. We all know. Yeah, the moisture content in those products plays a very major role in their affection, that is less than 13%, which helps to prevent the microbial growth. Addition of water make it susceptible to microbes. Yeah, as we all know, the microorganisms tend to live more in the higher water content, that is they need some required water content in order to they survive healthier and to accompany their metabolic activities in their food diet. Bacillus species known for producing lactic acid, gas and acetone in flour. Yeah. This is just an informative way. Then how we can prevent the spoilage, or how we can control the spoilage? Yes, pesticides. It's not a safer way, but using biopesticides is one of the better activity when compared with that of using chemical pesticides. Then drying one of the effective way, which decreases the low water activity of the food item and lowers the growth of the microorganisms, so the food cannot be affected by microbial activities. Then debranding is nothing but a simple process of removing the outer coat of the wheat, thereby reducing about 80% or 90% of causing microbial infection to that of the cereal plants. Then chlorides and hypochlorite. Yeah, chlorides and hypochlorite, especially these chemicals or these substances, are used to prevent the microbial growth in that of your cereals. Irradiation, one of the physical activity which is safer performer to be performed under the several SOPs and can prevent the microbial growth in our foods. Ozone, O3, combination of 3 oxygen, which helps to prevent the microbial growth again. Then organic acids such as citric acid, acetic acid, vinegar especially, it has a great application in the food industry as well as in many other industry, and they are continuously produced in case of fermentation, by, for example, we can say submodular surface fermentation, in order to help in the food industry and several other cosmetic industry, fiber industry, etc. I don't want much to speak about the applications of acetic acid, but it also plays a major role in that of the preventing the sterile products from that of infection. Thank you so much for listening me, and hope you all have a good food, good life. What I can say then, have a healthier practices. Don't eat junk foods. Have good practices and follow the FSSAI guidelines in order to maintain a good food and have better life. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good day.